mess.
Told you, Johnny boy. Told you I'd end you someday.
Got maps of the heavens in your library, too?
Of course. That's the Big Dipper. And do you see the small flickering star on the right? If you gotta kill, kill. If you gotta burn it all to the ground, then let it burn.
Keep covering! Man down! Take their place!
Before we get started, I gotta fill you guys in on the context. I recently just finished my first playthrough of Cyberpunk and the DLC. I went in about 90% blind, with my only knowledge on the game being the anime, which I loved, but it's been a while since I've seen it, and maybe a few clips I've seen of the game. So everything I have to say about Cyberpunk today is coming from a raw first playthrough of the story and its DLC. I was more than excited, by the way. Coming in with high expectations due to all of the recent hype surrounding the game, my love for the anime, and the fact that I'm greatly biased towards futuristic settings and visuals. The neon lights and advanced tech of Night City is everything I could ever wish for, and let me tell you, Cyberpunk 2077 delivered a single player experience unlike any I've ever experienced before. It's difficult to decide on an area of the game that I can glaze first, but due to the visuals and art styles of the world really being the first thing that captivates me, I think this is a logical place to start. Now, I'm not running the game on the world's best PC. I can get away with decent graphics quality and good FPS, but I have to forgo something like ray tracing as it just completely tanks my performance. I can't play with this on, bro. It's so framey, but Jesus, it's insane looking. Like, what? Look at that. Ray tracing with the path tracing on. That being said though, Cyberpunk is the most visually stunning game I've ever played. And to be honest, it's not even close. It's one thing to create an eye-catching open world city, but when the world itself is made to feel alive from the density of its crowds, vehicles, a variety of buildings and roads, no matter how many times I circle the city, it never ceases to mesmerize me. Even though I didn't indulge in new apartments too much until the end of the game, having the option for several refreshing homes is honestly a part of the game that does not need to be there, but exists, and it's an incredible feature. The neon lighting in Night City is like visual crack to me. I legit wish that this is what it looked like where I live. It's this art style that also contributes to your choice between fast travel and straight up driving your way to objectives. Fast travel is a very welcome addition to the game that can save your time, especially if a certain quest is boring you, but I actually spent most of my time just driving across Night City to the next objective whilst bumping my own playlist, purely because of the combination of driving and gazing at the city's visuals is so much fun to me. I'm not sure how long I spent just driving from objective across the city to and from the camp. Those sequences are just pure bliss. It's almost a crime to fast travel. The visuals are not perfect, however.
What is that?
But I think this is mostly due to my PC struggling to handle what's on screen on occasion. It was frequent to see NPC models and roads load in late, which can ruin my immersion, but luckily the game's so good elsewhere that this doesn't bother me too much. Cyberpunk is gorgeous both in concept and execution, and I may just load up the game for a drive through Night City every now and again. I'll be honest, within my first 5 hours of the game or so, I was a little bit worried in regards to the gameplay. The story and the entire Jackie arc was initially carrying the experience, but Cyberpunk does a stellar job when it comes to pacing V and your power scaling as the game goes on. The gameplay mechanics available at the start, they start off kind of slow and dare I say a little bit dull, but this doesn't really last. Being introduced to scanning in preparation for a Netrunner playstyle, or shown how to diff your opponent with melee if you decide to adopt a Sandevistan playstyle going forward, your cyber capabilities are paced with the story and how many side objectives you decide to do. Once the main story passes that 4-ish hour mark and you are sent off to explore the open world, that's when the gameplay rapidly opens up. This is also relative to the player's choice of progression. If you go for the main story objectives, you might struggle to scale your attributes and cyberware fast enough to scale with those missions. But if you pace yourself and tackle side objectives and gigs, V will gradually become Thanos as your playthrough goes on. Let's talk about the melee and gunplay. I'm certain that there is a weapon for fucking everyone in Cyberpunk. I found myself opting for shotguns, snipers and magnums, more often than not due to how well they synergize with my build, but the assault rifles, SMGs and smart weapons all have their place. And the fact that certain weapon types feel more synergistic with different builds is elite game design. As I've said, I've only completed one playthrough, and I stuck with a single playstyle throughout, jumping, sliding and dashing around during my Sandevistan while barrel stuffing someone with a shotgun and swinging my melee will never get old. But in the case that it does, upon a second playthrough, the idea of rocking a Netrunner build using target lock smart weapons is really intriguing to me. And with the variety of weapons and builds, the possibilities are far above average for single player stories. Speaking of the Sandevistan and my preferred build so far, speed mogging my enemies and using the available movement tech during the main story is so much fun. You start out pretty weak, but racking up money and materials from gigs and dissolving weapons is actually quite an enjoyable time. Leveling up attributes and picking your skills to synergize with your cyberware can feel overwhelming at times, but the UI serves its purpose well in guiding you to the correct combinations of that techware and attributes. There's also a crafting system which is more useful later in the game, allowing you to turn more common materials into the rarer ones for higher level cyberware upgrades. As for melee, there's also a solid variety: throwing knives, katanas, hammers, and then the cyberware offering 3 more melee options. Side note, my first playthrough spanned over a week. During this time, I was both addicted and committed to the usage of katanas and the arm blades. The fact that I used just 2 of my melee options without dabbling too much elsewhere is a testament to just how fun the gameplay is. I will say this though, a small critique I have is that the katanas are generally stronger than the arm blades. From my experience and the katanas I got my hands on, the DPS difference felt noticeable between the two, so the arm blades felt a little redundant outside of the lunging capabilities, but it's a small critique. Hell, even the acquisition of weaponry is actually an enjoyable mechanic. Finding unique and iconic weapons, as well as stronger variants as you progress, is extremely addictive. Sure, many questlines will lead you to new items, but there's plenty of secret weapons to be found. Rebecca's shotgun, Guts, from the anime being a personal favourite of mine. And the scaling stat bonuses from levelling up your cyberware, mind you. As the story goes on, it kind of becomes a power fantasy game. On paper, it can sound like too much, but it really isn't. Each element is gradually introduced to the player, making Cyberpunk exceed expectations for PvE combat and progression. Now for the part you've probably been waiting for, and where the fuck do I even start, bro? Let me just say that you can tell that a story is written well when I can easily stream the game and get distracted during the dialogue segments by my chat, because I can't fucking multitask and focus on 2 convos at once, yet still understand the story with ease, and that goes for the DLC too. Now, I'm not here to read off the plot points like a fucking bedtime story, especially due to the diversity in life paths, dialogue options, relationships and endings. but I have to point out the abundance of special moments and highlights from the world that gets explored. The first 4 hours or so of the main story are occupied by V and Jackie's story. I can understand that some may feel the quick buddy montage of the two working together kinda undermines the relationship building, but I think the time you spend together is more than enough. Across Jackie's arc was actually the most similar the game felt to the show in my opinion. It may not be the most exhilarating gameplay wise, but most of the cast you band together with early on are endearing enough to carry the story. Jackie, Evelyn, Judy, Vic, Misty, I was invested straight away. And the final mission spent with Jackie is incredible. It really feels like you're playing out a movie scene just in first person. Also, Adam Smasher staring at you through the wall is fucking terrifying. Great way to transfer the terror that you brought to the show directly into the game. And for what it's worth, Jackie's death is just the right amount of sadness to punch the player in the gut before sending you off into the world. It feels quite real in how it affects your life in the game. Losing your best friend and your business partner only to have the world become more opened up to you now that you're alone. Sure, more time with Jackie would make his death hit harder, but it would also stifle the pacing before the even better elements of the story arrive. Fuck you. Now of course, Johnny Silverhand and the primary plot point's introduction is shocking. The looming threat of death is now with you through the rest of the game, but the way Cyberpunk opens itself up to you from here on out is quite unreal. Never has an open world felt so fucking alive to me. From the countless vendors and locations to interact with and visit, constantly refreshing side jobs and quests, available gigs and people constantly hitting you up on your phone for work is just golden. The world you are playing in has a heartbeat, and tackling as many side quests as possible is not only beneficial to your progression, but to me it feels connected. Taking on jobs on the side that are separate from the main story still feels like it matters to the plot, because it's not just some linear story that matters to you, it's the experience and the world building that builds the journey. If I help out a certain character and they provide me goods that contribute to my cyberware, then that character now feels like a closer part of the main story due to that contribution. Driving to all the side objectives just accentuates the pulse of Night City and takes up a lot of your playtime in a good way. In my opinion, every side job or optional quest is a part of the main story, and it's why I tried to get almost everything done before going to Embers for the first time. A few noteworthy side objectives and side quests that were either enjoyable or memorable for me include the Delamain cab retrievals. These were a bit annoying at first, but in retrospect got more fun as they went along. Claire's races were good fun, and River's creepy ass quest involving that sick fuck was also dope, despite mine bugging out for 20 minutes.
Hey, you got this, buddy.
What are you doing?
I'm here with your uncle. It's gonna be alright.
Oh my... You fucking bitch! Come here! You suck, bro. You fucking suck. There we go. Thank fuck. Thank fuck, bro. I'm gonna do my best to ignore some of the bugs I ran into, okay? Because it was only about 10% of the gameplay. No, more like 5%. Yeah, this mission would have been fucking awesome if it wasn't for that. The side jobs are incredible. End of story. What's also special about the progression of the main story is how your relationships grow with the characters. Considering that your main objective of finding a way to save your life and handle Johnny remains mostly the same throughout the story, the diversion between each of the main characters that get their own special arc with you is fucking incredible. Johnny at first is kind of just there. Early on he's more of an annoyance, as there's other characters to focus on whilst he pops up and takes the piss.
Only too willing to spread their legs for you.
Shut up, man.
Sad.
Go eat a dick, Johnny.
Yeah, fuck you, Johnny. But as soon as you finish certain character arcs, such as Panam's, it leaves an opening for the main story to build Johnny's character again. And I gradually was able to have fun with him, peel back the layers of his character and sympathise with the one guy I'm stuck with in this doomed situation. Johnny is actually dope as fuck, and I really grew into enjoying him by the end of the story.
Yeah. I'll call her.
Okay. That's Delta. Nothing to see here after all.
Worth coming out all the same?
Absolutely. Thanks, V. Of all the heads I could have popped up in, hella glad it was yours.
That shit was sick, bro. What a great fucking segment. Be best buds now. Evelyn is very intriguing despite not being around long, but her death is kind of used to build your relationship with Judy. I fucking adore Judy, man. Much like Johnny, there's tension early, but Judy and V bond through all the grief that is shared with Evelyn's death. It allows the player to be there for her and warm up to each other. She's hardened but has a heart of gold, and yes, I was hoping that she was romanceable to male V until I found out that she was only into women. My disappointment was immeasurable. Bro, what's she gonna say? Are we ready for rejection? I want to see what her attitude's like.
Hey, not gonna pike out on me,
fine
are
in
ya?
that wetsuit.
Don't go there, dude.
Come on, man. Fuck. Walk of shame, walk of shame. Luckily, that disappointment did not last long, and I think you guys know why. I'd also like to quickly address one of my favourite scenes in the entire game involving an immersive therapy session. Cyberpunk on multiple occasions will reel you in emotionally with the slower sequences of conversation that literally have me sitting back and just taking in the moment as if it were real. Delving into V's psyche as they struggle to cope with the inevitable fate is such a genius way of pulling the player closer to the world, and the way it's written, by the way, is just fucking amazing.
But how do I keep up with everything that's changing?
You have been keeping up. You've made an impact. Not a single thing in this world isn't in the process of becoming something else. Likewise, you.
Thanks, for all this. Jeez. Don't even feel like getting up.
Few do. But everything has its end.
It's such a moving moment, and it stuck with me throughout the playthrough. Continuing my glaze of the main cast, Cyberpunk's introduction of Panam is placed perfectly, as it's around the time players of male V will clock that we're in Judy's friend zone because she's a carpet muncher. Aside from being a whole ass snack, Panam was without a doubt my favourite part of Cyberpunk's story. Much like Judy, she's a stern badass and takes a bit of time to break the ice with. Forcing the player to spend time during some really fun missions and bond the two of you through the dangers of combat is one of the most rewarding arcs available. Like, of course I'm going to pursue her as my primary romance option.
But I need to sleep. Work it out.
Yeah. You know what you're doing with that pose. Bro, honestly, just keep looking at me like that. Do I be forward and I say, get one room? Is that too... I feel like that's too soon to say that. That's fucking... I don't think she'll bite on that. But the way she's looking at me got me thinking otherwise. I think it's better to be patient with women, but this is an NPC, so maybe I shouldn't be overthinking it.
Maybe we rent just one room.
Good idea. Noah has
good.
2 twin beds in every room.
That's
We'll
what I'm
save some
saying.
money.
This isn't a move being made. I can take the sofa. It's simple. I genuinely felt addicted to just visiting her camp and progressing V's relationship with her. Once I realised that I'd completed her quests and would have to finish the DLC and reach the ending in order to progress our story, it motivated me even more to reach the end. Trying to play my cards right with the romance options without messing it up was also very fun.
I couldn't ask for more.
Ma'am, I'm sure you'd be cozier with your shoes off.
After a full
V,
day
stop
in
being
them,
cringe.
I fear it.
Grown kinda cold out here.
This better work.
Not true. But this is nice.
Yes.
Yeah! I win. I win. Through her missions, you learn to care more about her and her camp as they begin to feel more like a family. And in my case, it made my choice of ending pretty brutal. No!
Fuck.
In terms of being brutally honest about some of the people you meet in the main story, I'm not going to pretend to enjoy every character. Kerry and Takamura were probably my least favourite to do missions with, but my criticisms are small in the grand scheme of things. For example, Kerry's quests are optional at the end of the day, and I was really disinterested in him due to his flirting with V when I'm already vowed to my loyalty with Panam, bro. Fuck off.
Drive the shadows away.
What the fuck?
You'll be fine. Without me,
Dude,
too.
I'm
Fuck.
with Panam, bro.
I sure hope so.
Give me the option.
We should get back.
That's not what this is, bro. I'm not flirting with him.
Downstairs
I'm
is
with
waiting.
Panam, bro. Ew. Get the fuck away, bro.
No, thanks, mate.
Takamura honestly also suffered from Panam's success in the story. When he initially is introduced, I feel like he's pretty mysterious and interesting, but after spending so much time in Panam's camp, and on Judy's side of the story, coming back to Takamura honestly feels dull. At least until his Hanako mission, which was fucking insane. The little boss fight with bro with the red blades was fucking cinema. Now, let's talk about Phantom Liberty. As I was streaming my playthrough, I frequently went to the chat for advice in regards to the progression. I was unsure as to whether I should play the DLC before meeting Hanako at Embers and finishing the base story. The reason being is that I was locked into all that had happened so far, and that I was craving seeing the ending, but my chat was persistent in telling me to complete the DLC first, not only as it was a strong separate story, but that I could also become even stronger via the resources earned before the final mission, which was enough to convince me. I won't lie, switching to Phantom Liberty before meeting Hanako at Embers was mildly frustrating at first, because I felt like I was diverting from the story that I'd grown to care about, but once I realised how much it was contributing to my progression and cyberware, I kinda grew to enjoy it. Sprinkling in a few Night City quests and gigs here and there also helped to keep everything feeling connected. Reed and Alex are interesting characters that I can understand wanting to side with, but I ended up picking Songbird for my first playthrough. The idea of V having a character he can relate to in his given situation is a genius concept for a DLC, and the fact that you have so much time to decide who you side with, to the point where you are borderline playing a double agent between Reed and Somi whilst getting thrown into a mission under a disguise, effectively playing a double agent within a double agent is fucking mental. Also, moment of silence for Aurora, rest in peace. How dare they not make her a romanceable option?
Oh, Cam. V is just being cordial.
Hello?
N'est-ce pas, V? You weren't snooping just now,
18.
were you?
Even. Red.
Still no sign from Reed.
Oh my god,
Got
bro.
a sinking feeling.
Phantom Liberty is far slower with its pacing. The spectacle it offers is mainly in its conclusion. Harnessing the Black Wall was peak cinema, only to have your heart ripped out the second later once you get betrayed by Somi. This twist had me questioning my moral compass, for fuck's sake.
I think I'm gonna die soon.
No you ain't, I am.
I regret. Wasn't honest with you. I'm sorry.
Now this choice right here is very important, because we gotta think about the morals of life, bruh. Think about it, dude. Does it make me a good person if I don't abandon her and say, you know what, fuck it, we're both cooked, maybe I should be the bigger man? But does that make me weak if I forgive her and don't stand my base? Huh? Does that make me not capable of standing up for the fact that she betrayed me? And I basically just get played and be like, oh, you know what, we're still cool. Or do I turn full heel and say, after everything we've been through, I can't forgive you? The moral compass, man.
Could have told me the truth. Would have helped you anyway.
That's actually true, you know. In theme with Edgerunners, the ending is still heartbreaking even though I felt like there was no right decision to be made morally. Phantom Liberty is about picking sides, which can only lead to a betrayal of either opposing side. And my god, the end credits with the music, chef's kiss. As for whether or not I should have played Phantom Liberty before finishing the base story, I think my chat made the right call. Despite its slow burn, it delivers excellent rewards and prolongs the enjoyment of the game whilst delivering a gut punch to keep you emotionally in shambles before whatever ending awaits you in the base game. Prolonging my visit to Hanako with a moving story that can bolster the experience of V's journey is such a treat, and I'm glad I finished it when I did. And speaking of the main story ending, meeting Hanako at Embers is such an event. With the duration that it takes place over, it feels like the final episode of a legendary TV series, as you are once again presented with choices which you don't know the repercussions of. Or at least I didn't, because I was going in blind. Sure, I could have waited until I've tried every ending or replayed Female V before making this video, but there's so much to be talked about from a first time experience that cramming even more of my experiences just into one video would feel like a disservice to the game. After all, a good test of a game's story is to review the authentic ending that I landed on during my first playthrough. As you can imagine, due to my infatuation with Panam, after a little consideration I chose to engage the final mission with the help of her and the camp. It's an excellent final showdown and one that I would happily replay. Sure, Atom Smasher is easily outscaled by your upgrades by this point, but the fight is fun and goddamn, it's pretty messed up story-wise as well. And once all was said and done, I realised two things. First off, my chat informed me that the ending I got was arguably the best available. Huge relief. But at the same time, it's difficult to feel uplifted by even the best ending the game has to offer. Cyberpunk 2077, even during the best outcome, still refuses to pull its punches, which is perfectly in tune with the vibe of the TV series. There is no winning or happy ending for those in Night City. Whether you're a merc or a netrunner, spending your hard-earned blood money on becoming as dangerous as possible can lead you to a lavish lifestyle with one of two guaranteed outcomes. In a city where you can become anything or anyone, you will eventually either wind up behind bars or dead. It's an obvious reality to live in, considering that a life of crime in the real world will offer the same results, but the fact that V goes to the lengths they do in order to stop the inevitable demise coming their way, only to simply have extended the deadline of his death after all that effort, is so demoralizing and heartbreaking, even more so for Panam. Because Panam's optimism in being able to find another way to save you in that first 6-month time period is fucking tragic. Because it's hard for the player to share the same sort of optimism belief as Panam, because all we've run into throughout the entire story is just bad news. The payoff of a somewhat wholesome departure between V and Johnny was quite satisfactory, bittersweet due to the delayed doom we're left with facing without him, but after warming up to his character and becoming friends with him throughout the whole experience, I think it's quite a touching goodbye. We've seen Johnny lower his shields and feel more human as he opens himself up, but his final goodbye into a digital existence is about as wholesome of a separation as the world of Cyberpunk has to offer. Cyberpunk 2077 is nothing short of remarkable. The fact that I have so much left to explore and try before mods even enter the equation is mind-blowing to me. There are so many talking points to sit on, and truth be told, the raw conversations I can have about the game could go on for hours. There are certain video games that leave you grateful to have experienced during your lifetime, and for me this is one of them. I love rambling on about my top 10 favourite games of all time, and only recently has my list changed, and Cyberpunk easily lands itself within my top 3. And I hope to revisit this game multiple times in future videos. From the gorgeous visuals and art style, addictive movement, weapon mechanics and progression system, likeable characters, moving writing, and the ability to immerse the player in a world so cool that you wish it was real, despite how fucked up it is. It's not just a game, it's an experience. Night City isn't just an open world, it's a virtual reality with a whole ass heartbeat. I could be cliche and wish to experience the game for the first time again, but not only can I replay with fresh options for the story, but also the gameplay. So yeah, as corny as it sounds, Cyberpunk 2077 did change my life, because it's granted me an unforgettable experience, and even made me think about subjects that I have and will have to tackle in everyday life. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and sub. This one's been in the works for a minute, and I hope it can pick up some traction. Appreciate you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.
You're gonna tell me?